Welcome all. I hope you had a wonderful day so far. Let me take into my analysis of the comic book I read. The title of my comic book is America Born Chinese, written by Gene Luen and colored by Lark Pien. It is a genuine graphic novel with 240 pages long, including an afterword from the author explaining his creative process. This story splits into 3 mini tales as we follow the Monkey King, Gene Luen Yang, and Chen Qi in their journey. In Act 1, we follow the Monkey King leaving his subject and his own on the mountain to attend a dinner party which he wasn't invited personally. When the guard denied him entrance to the party, he takes matters into his own hands and kills off everyone and left back home with a guilty conscience on his mind. The next story we follow is Gene Luen and his parents move into a new neighborhood, and he starts his new day in his new school. He struggles to fit in as students judge him for his differences and bullies him. Eventually, he meets Wing Chin, and they instantly become best friends over time. And lastly, we follow Danny as he enjoys his time with Melina in their studies in chemistry until his cousin Chen Qi comes to visit and start a mess that Danny knows what's coming next. In Act 2, the Monkey King remains hidden in his secret room to further his training to become the most extraordinary celestial spirit. Now calling himself the great sage, eagle of heaven, he beats up the 4 leaders of the heaven to prove his worthy and ultimately meet his creator. Even though the creator explained the Monkey King's birth and purpose, he still defied the creator and got buried underneath the mountain of rocks with his seal to prevent him from exercising Kung Fu. He stayed there in prison for 500 years. As Jen seen Amelia in her tank top during 7th grade English teacher, he couldn't stop thinking about her and has a nervous breakdown wherever she is nearby. Not only does he deals with his feelings for Amelia, but he also found out that his best friend started dating Susie. As Chen Qi tags with Danny at his high school, he makes every moment to try and embarrass his cousin. Remarkably smart, yet his jokes can go overboard, especially the prank that he pulls with one of Danny's friends, Steve, when he urinates inside a Coke can. On the other hand, Danny apologized to Melina for the other night with his cousin's action and tries to ask her out today. Unfortunately, she preferred them to remain friends, and he felt lonely and distant himself. In Act 3, we meet the monk, Juan, who differentiates himself from the rest and serves his purpose to the creator by giving back to the people in any way he can help them. When he meets the 3 celestial spirits that serve under the creator, they gave him a mission which he happily accepts. Along the way, he meets the Monkey King and asks him to accompany him on his journey to the west. Towards the end, the Monkey King realized that his true identity is the greatest gift from his creator, and he freed himself from prison and defended the monk from these demons before beginning a journey with the monk. We followed Jin as he and Amelia spent the night on the movie theater and tells his best friend about the following morning. Amelia's closest friend convinced Jen not to ask her a date anymore as he worries of her choices she'll make in high school. And on that night, Jen felt a transmutation in his body, which we know that Jen had changed his name to Danny. And lastly, Danny, who is fully known as Jen, spot his cousin Chen Qi in the library disturbing people peacetime, and he decided to take matters to his own hand Eventually, he realized that Chen Qi acted straight and revealed himself as the Monkey King. Danny transforms back to Jin, and the Monkey King explains himself and the truth behind him and Wing Chen. After learning the truth, Jin waited for Wing Chen for over a month and apologized for his action towards him. After reading American-born Chinese twice, the story aims to teach the readers a meaningful lesson about true identity. Meaningful no matter how hard you try to blend in or impress others with the skills to prove self-worthy. It doesn't change you of the personality you get from birth. The conflict and attitude supports the goal that the Monkey King and Jin tried to achieve, and eventually lead them to consequences they didn't expect. It has a solid story arc with a beginning, middle, and end that leads the Monkey King and Jin realizing that their true identity is unique and no one else is like them. For the Monkey King, the monk accepts his death when he's too foolish to realize that his current side keeps him from freeing himself underneath the rocks, and he shrinks down to his original side to defend the monk against the demons. For Jin, the Monkey King reveals that he began to visit him after the changes of his son when Chen imposed as his cousin Chen Qi to guide his soul to the right path. If we took a look at our character's arc, we can identify the Monkey King as intelligent and wise in Act 1. As we approach to Act 2, he becomes more foolish and determined to become one of the highest celestial spirits. And towards Act 3, he became a protector and companionship to the monk, as he's happily accepted to accompany the monk on his journey to the west. When we meet Jin in Act 1, he's very quiet, doesn't have much friends, until during the second grade, he saw how much he have a crush on Amelia, so he's willing to self-determine to prove his worthy and his love to Amelia. And then towards the Act 3, he realized that his current looks wasn't good enough. He remembers the old lady words and eventually transformed his whole entire body. Danny, who was formerly known as Jin, we can see that he had been very distracted in the first act. And when his cousin came, he became very embarrassed because he knows how his action affects his reputation. And towards Act 3, he was done with his cousin's foolishness, costing him everything dear to him, that he took matters to his own hands. And finally, let's not forget Chen Qi, who was the Monkey King disguised himself as goofy and shockingly brilliant. According to Scott McCloud, comic books transition can be divided to several categories. For American-born Chinese, they use action-to-action transition technique to showcase the character's moves and actions to get the readers involved. The story established that action-to-action transition properly, allowing the readers to follow along easily without getting lost. However, I don't recommend it as a mini comic idea, as it would require trimming the story more than it has. The direction of the comic book makes the story compelling, and the artwork laid out in text pulls the readers through from beginning to end. Before I close out this analysis, I recommend this comic book to my classmates and friends who enjoys tales in literature, folklore, mythology, or legend about self-acceptance. A fun fact about the author is that the stories in this comic book is based on his parents telling him those stories at a young age. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much.